welcome to the stream, and welcome to part 8. Working on this guy right here. That is our F-22 Raptor by Hasegawa, 1/48 scale. So, if you could please load that intro, we'll get into it. You guys live, obviously there's no intro to watch, but watch the video that I get uploaded later and you'll get to see that intro. Anyway, okay guys, we are going to be painting today. It's all about paint, okay? We have our kit here. It's all nice and black primered, except for the engine nozzles, which I do have to spray a little bit of black primer. You guys may notice I've put on our flaps on each wing here, okay? I installed those, and obviously I've installed the engine nozzles, which need to be painted black, okay? So I'm just going to do that real quick. I'll be using my Mr. Surfacer 1500 black, okay? I always like to use the Mr. Surfacer 1500, either the gray or the black. In this case, we're using black. Okay, so just hit those with a shot. Okay, so now they're black. Okay, nice shiny because it's wet, but it'll dry and it'll become the same. Okay, I have my air compressor all fired up and she's ready to go. I'm going to utilize something that I've had sitting on my shelf for a while now that I have yet to use, and I have decided today is the day I'm finally going to use them. And they are a couple of masks that I picked up on, I believe, you know, I've had them so long I forget. I think I got them on Amazon. They are masks for doing random patterns like this, okay? So you put this down over something and you spray through them and you get a random kind of pattern. I believe these ones are for like artwork of some sort. Anyway, I got 3 sheets, but I'm going to utilize 2. I'm going to focus basically on the smaller ones, not these great big ones, okay? And I'm going to be painting it in white first. Now, reason for it, you know, the F-22 is a plane that was basically built and designed in the early 2000s, right? So this plane is starting to get a little bit old. It's not an aircraft-based plane, so you don't get too much wear patterns, and the United States is pretty good at maintaining their surface paint job quality on them, because that is part of their stealthiness on them, right? So yeah, but you look at reference photos, you are going to see some that are starting to show their age, and that's what I want to depict on this. Just a little bit, a little subtlety in the paint, that it's not pristine, it's not perfect. This plane didn't just roll off the assembly line. This thing has been around a little while. So that's the whole reason for it. If you're wondering why am I going to make this thing look, you know, weathered, that's why, okay? So, that being said, I've got my airbrush set up. I'm going to be using my XF2 white, which has already been thinned. It's ready to go. I haven't really shaken it up yet today. So let's make sure that's nice and mixed. Okay, that's good. Again, I'm not going to be doing it on every surface. I'm not going to do it at all on the underneath, okay? The underneath is its own beast, and we're not going to be doing any. It's only on the horizontal surfaces. So I'll do it across the wings and across here and about to there, and that's going to be it. I'm not going to do any on the nose. It's just going to be along here, and that's it. Just along this surface here, in this area, okay? As far as our vertical stabilizers, I'm going to do it on the one side. These things sit on an angle like this, right? They sit like this. These guys sit like this, okay? So I'm going to do it on the one side, but not this side, okay? These guys see the sun a lot more, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to double check and make sure I do have my sides correct. This is going to sit like this, right? Yeah, so that's going to sit like that on the plane. So I'm just going to do this one side here, okay? happens to be the side that has a little bulge sticking out. This side is smooth, so the bulge sticking out is the side that's going to get the paint. Okay, the white. I'll call it the white treatment. Okay. As for our horizontal stabilizers, these are interchangeable. They doesn't matter which way is up on these, they are identical. So I'll just pick a side and I'll do that. Okay, so that's it. We're ready to go. I do have my camera set up so you guys can watch me paint. So we will get that done. I'm going to move that out of the way, get this going, and I'll put some paint in my airbrush. There's my screwdriver. I don't need too much. We're not flooding the whole thing. So put the lid back on there. We don't want accidental spillage. Okay, so I'll change the camera and you can take a look at that stuff, okay? So here we are, hello. Here we are, hello. There's our plane. And so I'll just grab, sure, I'll do this one. So I'm just gonna start kind of, I don't wanna have it right flat against there. I wanna have a bit of a little raised. I don't really wanna go too crazy with it. So let's see how this works. Like I said, I've never used this before, so this is brand new. This will be interesting to see just how this comes out. Okay. Like I said, I'm just going to focus on the smaller holes. Well, that's pretty good. Just kind of doing random. Not bad, not bad. If you're like me and you're not all that great at randomness yourself, this really helps. Move over here. This is going to be a little bit tougher. I'm going to actually bring this to the edge of my table here like this, just so I can get this card a little bit more where I want it. Like I said, I'm focusing a lot on the smaller ones. I don't want too much. This whole effect is supposed to be subtle. You might say, oh, this is cheating. Why don't you just do your normal pattern where you just randomly do kind of get in tight? That is a little bit more of a pattern that I'd want to do for an aircraft-based plane, a carrier-based plane, and I don't want to do that with this guy. Okay. This is all about subtlety, okay? I don't want to go crazy with the effect on this. It is supposed to be random after all, so I turn this around a few times. the nice thing about this is if you feel like you've gone too far, you can just spray the primer back over it and basically delete it all. Not bad. Let's start utilizing these guys, this area. Again, this is all about randomness. Randomness and subtlety. Went a little heavy on that one, but that's okay. No big deal. There we go. I think that's pretty much it, except I want to do a little bit along there. Obviously, the engines aren't going to be affected by this very much. Just a little subtlety there. Maybe I should just do across here. A little bit there, like that, yeah. Just do this little bit here. A little bit, and maybe just across here. Yeah, just like that. This little area here I missed. Yeah. That's good enough. Okay, this is going to give some tonnage in there. It's going to look a little bit different when we're laying down the gray, right? Okay, so for these guys, I'm actually going to change this. I'm going to go with this one. Okay, change this out. I put my clip on there. I don't really need it. Okay, which ones we're going to go for? Let's go with these. It's a little bit more fogged out or whatever, and that's all I'm going to do. That one's, I'm going to call that one done. Okay. Next in the lineup. This guy here. Let's turn him around. Do a little bit different section on this one. This works out pretty good. This is a lot easier than trying to do random stuff yourself. I feel like I'm cheating a little bit. I will say, I do feel like I'm cheating just a little bit, because this is really easy and I don't have to worry about my own tendency to not be purely random. I'm going to say that's good enough on that guy. Let's make sure I do have these right. Yeah, okay. Okay, there's that one. Okay, he's done. See? Done. All right, so that is it for the white, and that's it. You know what? I'm going to lie, and I'm going to do that. Do a little bit on his nose. Okay. So now we get to clean out our airbrush. Okay. Clean this out, clean out my airbrush, and get this ready for the next coat. I will cut the scene here right about now, so that only you guys who are actually watching me live have to suffer through watching me clean my airbrush, getting it prepared for the next color. Yeah, so there we go. Okay, get these out of my way. Get my thinner. My pipette. We're gonna dump our extra back in. Because I don't like to waste my paint. Once again, got nobody chatting. I do know my chat works, guys, so feel free to say something. Say hi. Talk to me. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Say hi. This is just regular hardware store lacquer thinner that I'm cleaning this out with, if you're curious. Nothing fancy or complicated. Just regular lacquer thinner. Right. I am about to be spraying a different color on there, so I don't need to really clean this out. Oh, my trigger is sticking a little bit, which means I do have to do a deeper cleaning later. Clean out the rest of that. I do kind of want to pull my needle back and clean the white off of it. So we get a lot of paint buildup on the tip of the needle. So I like to pull it back and clean it off. Get in there with the brush and clean it. Now, if you've got a problem, if your trigger is sticking, that can be a problem. Because then you wind up spraying where you don't want to. But for the most part, my trigger is cooperating, so I don't think I need to pull it apart to clean it right now. Okay. So, we have the main color that this plane is supposed to be. Okay, so I'm going to hang these up because I don't need these no more. Let's get that hung up there, and that hung up there. Okay, the main color that this plane is supposed to be is, where are we here? The main color is the 315 and the SMO 4. Okay, that would be, the equivalent is the XF20 and stainless. Okay, so what I have is, what I've used for that is a mixture of XF20 and Tamiya's X11. Okay, that's basically the whole plane is going to be this color, the main thing. Okay, that's why I've got this. I did this actually twice and filled this jar up, added a little bit of thinner, so this is ready to go. Okay, the whole main body of the plane, especially underneath, the whole thing is all one color. Okay, so that's going to take the bulk of this particular episode, is spray painting this whole plane. Just going to make sure we are mixed nice and well. Mixing a flat color with a metallic, I want to make sure that this is mixed well. Okay. So there we are. There's our main color. Okay. Let's pour this into our brush. Fill that up. Because we're doing most of the entire plane is going to look like this. So, and I'm actually going to put my lid on my airbrush so that the paint won't dry quite so fast. Okay, do a little test spray. Alright, that's definitely a shade of gray. Okay, I'll switch the camera back and we'll start painting again. Alright, so I'm going to paint our control surfaces first. I'll get these done. Okay. There we go. Just do a light coat first to get that ready. Okay. I'm not going right to the edge because the edge is going to be a different color. I can see the effect of the metallic in there. I don't know if it's showing up on the camera, but it looks almost a little grainy because of the metallic that's mixed in the paint. In any case, we want enough coverage that my white paint underneath is kind of hidden and covered. Okay. And make sure you get all sides. Okay. I want this to be a little more subtle. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. You can see that's showing through a little too much, right? At least for mine, I want more subtlety on this. So if that means I need to go a little heavier in some spots, that's fine. I would rather go heavier on some spots than just to make that a lot more subtle. That's what I want. I want more subtlety like this. Okay? There we go. There's one done. Okay? Just going to do the edge of this one, make sure. Alright, so there we go. One done. Okay, put that aside. Actually, I'm going to put it on this here. There we go. Okay, put that over here. There's our other one. Let's just do this edge first. said, do a nice light coat first. Some people might call it a dry coat. I think maybe I didn't put enough thinner in it. It's feeling like sometimes it stops spraying and then all of a sudden it's spraying really well. And I think that's a sign of not enough thinner. Again, I want this coat to be subtle. So I'll do this one a little thicker, and in some spots I'll even go heavy on it. Full coverage. There we go. Like I said, I want this settled. There we go. So that one's done. Again, it's very subtle through there. I have to really kind of get it in the right light for you to see it on the camera, but it's really subtle. I'll get my edge on this side a little better. There we go. Okay, that one's done. Next we have these guys. Although I can hold it like that, I'm just going to be winding up painting my fingers, and I don't want to do that. So I am going to grab these guys, put them on like that, so that I'm not painting my fingers. Go. I don't want to get underneath here, even though this is not going to be seen. I just want it for clarity reasons, and I want to make sure I get the edge. All right. I want enough coverage that it's going to be subtle. Just like that. Subtlety is what we're going for. The side that doesn't have that, doesn't need nearly as much. This is all about just hiding the primer underneath. Okay. One more coat on here. And we'll call this one done. we go. One horizontal stabilizer done. Grab our fourth piece. And that one's done. Again, just a little bit of subtlety in our variations there. Maybe make it a little more subtle on here. And that one's done. Okay. On to the main event. Let's get that in the hole. There we go. On to the main event. This guy here. I guess I'll do the bottom first. Starting off with our wing. I want to do the edge first, okay? Just so I know that I've done it, it's easiest to see when I'm painting over the black. I'm going to go around the whole thing and do the edge. Just kind of a thing that gets neglected a lot, at least by me anyway. Alright, so we'll do the underneath first. Do the bottom. Okay. Wing edge. Again, just kind of doing a mist coat just to get some coverage on there. Right? You don't want to go too heavy. Just as a first preliminary coat. Right? Want to make sure we do get in our intake our intakes here, especially where we have the primer. Go in there and paint it black. So we want to get in there. That's the nice thing about the airbrush is we can get deeper than I could with the rattle can. Alright, pretty decent mist coat on that now. I'm going to focus a little bit more on the wings now and get that a little bit heavier coat. Okay, that's not bad for a second coat. Our plane is looking gray. The effect of that metallic actually gives it a bit of a sheen. It's kind of neat. Now, my third coat is basically all about just blending it all in as one. Any spots that I may have missed or left a little dark, it's all about just filling those in to get some continuity. Focusing on smaller areas. So we get a little bit thicker coverage. Okay, our big section is done. So now I can focus more on the nose area, which means I have to figure out another way to hold this kit, which I think I can get away with this. Let's get that side done. There's our first coat on the nose. Okay. Nose done. I do have a little bit of variations here I want to fix on this side. There we go. There we go. Okay. So the bottom is done. I do have a little bit of shadows I think I need to fix here, a few spots. I'm going to do some weathering on the bottom of this too, so we'll see. I'll take a quick look in my cup while this dries. Let me see how much I have left here. I got about half left, so I'm going to put some more in here. Give us a refill while I do that. So I don't want to run out. I hate it when I run out halfway through. That's a bit of a, I'd say that's a bit of a pet peeve. I actually got some paint on my lid. That's what I get for not paying attention. That's why the lid was so hard to take off. Okay, typical to me of fashion, this should be dry to the touch now. Yeah, this is good enough, so I can flip it over and start on this side. This way, this time I'm going to do the nose first. And I'm going to get in here at this angle and do the bottom here. lightest coat first. We're not looking for any serious coverage yet. Just a preliminary. Let's get a little bit of paint on there, ready for the next phase. That's the whole idea here. Last wing, there we do. All right, so that's good for a first little draft. Let's get some more serious coverage on here now. As you guys have seen, I'm basically doing 3 coats on this to get the coverage I want. And to make my little white spots underneath a little more subtle. This is our third coat that should be the one that seals everything in and makes it all nice and uniform. Down the center spine, I want this coverage. A little more blotchy, that's okay. So I'm wanting to settle up our spray pattern here. Third coat is the one that isn't necessarily uniform because it's all about just covering up. That bit of a blotchy, cloudy, covered look, which is kind of what I'm going for. Okay. Little blotchy areas I just want to fix up here. All right, and that finishes it up. So we do have some variation, some blotchiness now, and we're done on the bottom. We've got a little bit of scuffs where it's been touching this rough surface, but that's fine. We are done. So I'm sorry this is kind of washed out in this camera. Let me change my scene here. So there we go. Let's look at our overhead cam here so you can get a better look at this. Okay. There we go. As you can see, there's very subtle variations in that, in the tones on that, and that's the look I was going for, right? A little less on the bottom. Okay. You can see there's a little bit of shiny spots, and that's fine. That's okay. That's all gonna get evened out in the long run. Okay. So that being done, I'm done with this coat and this color. Okay. So I'm gonna let this dry and cure for an hour or two, something like that. Clean up my brush, and then I got a whole lot of masking I need to do, okay? To do the lighter coats, that trim that goes all around the entire plane, the entirety of the plane. We've got that really much lighter coat that needs to go around everything, okay? That's gonna be next. Actually, I'm correcting myself, I'm gonna do the dark coat. I'm gonna do all this dark pattern that's here and in the center, and this, all our little blotches that go around the top of the plane. That's going to be next. But that is going to be in the next episode, because this is where I'm going to end it for today, guys. So, I invite you guys to hit that like button, and please hit the subscribe button also. I do have something coming up. When I hit 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to do a collaboration with my fiance. Now, I mentioned a couple of times already that we're going to be building an F-16 together, and we've changed our minds. Instead, we're going to be doing a Porsche, okay? We're going to be doing a car. We're going to build a car together. Porsche, I think it's a 911 Carrera, I believe. I don't remember exactly which one. Anyway, that's what we're going to do. She's always loved Porsches her whole life. Every time she told me that every time she saw a sports car that she thought, oh, that's really cool looking. As it turns out, it'd be a Porsche. So she's obviously a fan of Porsche cars, and so that's what we're going to build together. And yeah, so again, check out the description box below. There's going to be some links to my Instagram, to my Twitch, stuff like that, if you want to check those out. And so that's where I'm going to leave it now, guys, and we'll see you all in the next one. Alright, we are done. See you guys later.